And it is my distinct pleasure, on behalf of the Philadelphia Trial Lawyers Association, to bestow upon you the 2017 Justice Michael A. Musmanno Award.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Mark, one day I would really like to meet the guy you just described, because he sounds remarkable. And I have a tip for all you future Musmanno winners out there. Get Mark Tanner to introduce you. A few months ago, at an event for Justice Deborah Todd, she congratulated me in her always gracious manner on being chosen as the Musmanno Award recipient this year. She went on to tell me that she and her husband, Steve, had attended last year's award dinner, at which Tom Klein offered us the kind of spectacular performance for which he is renowned, and that Steve had remarked at the conclusion of Tom's speech, "Boy, I hate to be the guy that has to follow him." Well, for better or for worse, I guess I'm that guy. So with a grateful nod to all the past Musmanno recipients who have been my heroes and my inspiration, including my partners Carol Shepherd and Bobbie Pichini, and to the Musmanno committee which selected me, I'll share some thoughts about what it means to me to be a Philadelphia trial lawyer. Let me start, however, by acknowledging someone who is not with us tonight for this special annual celebration. I have never known anyone more committed to our values and our traditions than our friend Harold Datz. His dedication to empowering the little guy, to helping trial lawyers, including myself, secure leadership positions in the Philadelphia Bar Association, to assuring a fair and transparent process for evaluating judicial candidates for the Bar Association's Judicial Commission, that work was quite simply unparalleled. And in addition to his good works for our legal community and his genius for navigating bar politics, for which he never sought the limelight, Harold was one of the most decent and compassionate people I have ever known. No one has ever been more devoted to PTLA than Harold, and I salute this friend and colleague who we will miss so much on this special evening. Now, my friends, I have many people to thank for the honor you have bestowed upon me tonight. And I'd like to start with those who nurtured me. We are all a product of how we are raised and the values and character of those who raised us. My brother Elliot and I were brought up by parents, and particularly a dad, who instilled in us at a very early age the importance and dignity of hard work. Idleness was not a quality my father admired, and we got the message. We saw our dad, a carpenter slash painter slash electrician, come home at the end of every day dirty and perspiring and tired. And that's why it's hard for Elliot and me to believe that what we do is really worthy of being described as work at all. And our mom was no slouch either, employed from the day she graduated high school, and when we were kids, working as a receptionist in a doctor's office from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. every night, which is why at our house we had dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon so she could get to work on time. My dad, who would have been over the moon at an event like this for one of his sons, is no longer with us. But as you've heard, my mom, Bernice Feldman, who just celebrated her 92nd birthday, is in the house. Mom. And so is her kid sister, my Aunt Gloria, who also helped raise me. Mom and Aunt Gloria, please stand. My mom's the one with the frosted blonde hair. My parents expected, without expressing this in so many words, that we needed to challenge ourselves every day to be the best that we could be. And no one I have ever met lives and breathes that philosophy more than the woman who has been my rock, my confidant, and not only my inspiration, but the inspiration for generations of young women at Moore College of Art and Design, where she's a distinguished professor of art history and also more recently, president of the Moore Federation of Teachers. Now, being an art history professor is not the traditional preparation for becoming a union leader. But my wife, Maureen Pelta, took up the challenge of serving as the chief negotiator for the faculty union and did it the way she does everything, by learning all she could about her subject, by never cutting corners, and by doing it all with integrity, professionalism, and grace, while teaching her courses and attending to me. It's no wonder that, largely because of Maureen, we've been blessed with two extraordinary daughters who you've heard about, Erica and Julia, and yes, they are PhD candidates in their own right, and my son-in-law, Hannes, who just did earn his PhD. And kids, Julia, Hannes, thanks for coming over from Germany just for this dinner tonight. I'm a lucky guy in a million ways, but very lucky to have other members of my wonderful family here tonight, including my brother Elliot, the co-chair of litigation at Cozen O'Connor, and his wife Cindy, my sister-in-law Sylvia, an outstanding teacher in the Philadelphia School District, and her partner Art, my sister-in-law Eleanor, the most accomplished immigration lawyer in the United States, whose husband Tom could not be with us tonight, and many of my fabulous nieces and nephews. Now, to successfully navigate this amazing, but let's face it, demanding profession of ours, it's important to have a mentor. For the first 10 years of my career, I was lucky enough to have a very special mentor and teacher, and as you've heard, his name was Arthur Raines, the 1991 recipient of the Musmanno Award. I was privileged to have Arthur take me under his wing and allow me not only to learn at the feet of a master, but to encourage me to spread my wings and try all sorts of challenging cases. Arthur's blend of insight, creativity, tenacity, and humor was unique in the Philadelphia trial lawyer community, and I will be forever indebted to him and the lawyers of Raines, McCarty, Binder, and Mundy for their patience and support of a sometimes headstrong young lawyer. And Stephen, thank you for sharing your dad with me for those years. Some individuals are self-made masters of their craft. I am not one of those people. I thrive when interacting and exchanging ideas with others, and that's why I'm fortunate and proud to be part of an extraordinary law firm with amazingly talented lawyers and a devoted professional staff, most of whom are here tonight. Special thanks to my partners Mark Tanner, John Dodig, Dan Weinstock, and particularly to Carol and Ezra, who took a chance with me 30 years ago to leave good jobs at great personal risk because they shared my vision of a firm that would have a culture of great lawyering that was also committed to professional service. I am enormously proud that our firm has produced 5 presidents of this great organization. And other leaders of our legal community. And I can't leave any discussion of my firm without mentioning the lawyers on my own team who always have my back and who make me look good. Thank you, Dan Mann, Ed Goldis, Tom Martin. And Dee, my secretary and friend for 30-plus years, thank you. Whenever I can't find a document and I start to get annoyed, Dee always asks me the same thing. Did you look on your desk? And where would any of us be without our friends who offer support and encouragement when we need it, guidance and advice when we're not sure what to do, and who are always there to celebrate the joyous moments like tonight. I'm indebted to our profession for introducing me to many of my closest friends who are sharing a table here this evening. I love you all, but I want to especially call out my buddy Abe Rich, whose good judgment and counsel over the past 4 decades have meant so much to me. Thank you, Abe. And I see a number of friends here from the defense bar who are with us tonight. These are attorneys who are as capable and honorable and as committed to our civil justice system as any of us. They honor me with their presence this evening, and I'm delighted to have them with us. And finally, in the thank you department, tonight would not be happening without the person who is the beating heart of PTLA. Pat Patterson, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you, Pat, for your 30 years of exceptional service as our executive director. I love what I do. I love having the opportunity to work on challenging cases and when I'm fortunate to produce good results for my client. But it's important to recognize that any success I've had owes a great deal to my fellow trial lawyers. And here's what I mean. Over the years that I've been practicing, I've seen smart and creative lawyers develop new legal theories that have opened the door to recoveries for our clients that were never before possible. It's also true that during this period of time, the value of our cases, that is what is considered a fair recovery for our clients, has risen substantially. These things did not happen by accident. Rather, it was exceptional advocacy by the lawyers at Saltz Mongaluzzi, at Klein and Specker, at the Duffy firm, at Eisenberg Rothweiler, at Anna Paul Weiss, at the Beasley firm, at Raines McCarty, at the Joe Messa firm, at Wapman Newman and Wigreiser, at Gollump and Honeck, and all of the other law firms represented in this room. I'm sorry I can't name you all. We are indebted to all of you for this expansion and enhancement of rights and recoveries. My friends, we are in this together, and when we share our strategies and ideas and outcomes, we build on each other's achievements. We in this room are living proof that a rising tide lifts all boats. And while it's true that the people here tonight compete with one another, When we need to join together to protect our clients' rights, the fact is that there is not another trial lawyer community in these United States that comes together the way we do here in Philly. I mentioned that I'm lucky to have interesting cases to work on, but if my idea of a good day is having a compelling new case to strategize about, what I find really exciting is having a case involving a product or a condition or a policy that offers the opportunity to make a difference not only for my client, but for others in the same boat. It isn't something we can do in every case. After all, most are confined to their unique facts. But every once in a while, actually more than every once in a while, we're asked by a client to right a wrong that can also help many others. My colleagues Tom and Shannon have been trailblazers in going beyond financial compensation for their clients to accomplish important public safety improvements. And my hat is off to them. But it's not always a headline-grabbing case like IKEA or some of the K&S cases that fosters a reversal of dangerous practices. The true truth is that we trial lawyers can change the world incrementally, one case at a time. We really can. One verdict or settlement arising from a fire caused by a poorly located fuel tank may not bring about a design change, but the second or the third or the fifth case will have that manufacturer thinking long and hard about how it can make its product safer. A claim brought by a student for institutional indifference to sexual abuse may be ignored as an aberration, but the lawyers who file the next case and the next can and have sparked a major reassessment of that school's policy and procedures. And while the first case brought for an infant whose jaundice went unnoticed because her mom had been discharged right after her delivery may not have changed hospital protocol, you can bet that after a series of lawsuits, that harsh, profit-driven practice was reconsidered and rescinded. We are trial lawyers, and our role is unlike that of any other professional in our society. How lucky are we to be part of a profession that gives us a fighting chance to bring about that sort of real and lasting change? But as Uncle Ben told Peter Parker, you remember the line from Cider Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Because we decide what cases we will take and what we're going to decline, we control, to a very significant degree, the keys to the courthouse. We play an outsized role in determining who has access to justice. And because we wield that kind of clout, it is our duty to make sure that we help victims even when there is no contingency fee to be earned. How do we do that? By representing clients who are in trouble, but who can't afford or even begin to figure out how to obtain the services of a lawyer. For more than 10 years, Mark Tanner has represented 7 children of a troubled family as a volunteer lawyer with the Support Center for Child Advocates, devoting literally hundreds of hours to helping his kids find better and safer homes. Carol Shepherd went out of her comfort zone to take on the case, successfully, of the child of a homeless person who had been denied Social Security disability benefits. And Peter Newman, chosen last week as VIP's Volunteer Lawyer of the Month, has for years been representing families facing eviction as part of the mortgage foreclosure diversion program. This kind of work for our disadvantaged neighbors is part of the culture at our firm, as I know it is at so many of yours. Why do we do this pro bono service? It's not because we have to. There is no pro bono requirement in Pennsylvania. But if we are given the gift of a license to practice law and the ability to earn a nice living, we need to roll up our sleeves from time to time and share our gift with those who have not been as lucky as we have been. And it's not just the right thing to do, it's politic as well. Because when we're pitching a legislator trying to make the case for a civil justice system unencumbered by caps or immunities, it helps if we have not only talked the talk, but walked the walk in the battle for access to justice for all. We can also open our wallets to support our legal services community, whose dedicated lawyers have devoted themselves to providing legal assistance to folks who are on the edge. So when you receive a call from me or anyone else who has agreed to take the time to solicit contributions for CLS or VIP or homeless advocacy or the legal clinic for the disabled or the Senior Law Center or any other legal services agency, remember who we are and what we do. We are trial lawyers. We are the last refuge of folks who are distressed, despondent, and almost without hope. We're the backstop when others can't or won't step up to meet the need. My friends, we have been blessed with so many advantages that when we receive a request to support a legal services agency, there is simply no option but for us to say, thanks for calling, what can I do to help? Justice Musmanno understood that the role of a trial lawyer was not just about securing justice for our clients, but about making this world a better, safer, and more just place for all of us. I know it's a grand idea that may seem far removed from our workaday world, but the truth is we all have the capacity to be part of Justice Musmanno's vision. I and you have been blessed to have the privilege of helping people whose lives have been devastated, and there is simply no higher calling that we could aspire to. Thanks to everyone for this extraordinary honor, and may we together demonstrate to the world that trial lawyers are committed, body and soul, to achieving access to justice for everyone in this great city and nation. Thank you so much.